I've always enjoyed optical illusions. You know the sort of thing. Do you see the rabbit or the duck? That sort of thing. But sometimes we're totally sure we know what's going on and what we see, and all the time something else is really happening. My name is Ian Currey, and this is Thinking Out Loud. Come on, let me tell you what I think. One of the most important things I've learned about listening to people's stories is that there is always more to them than meets the eye. You just never know what's going on in the background of people's lives. Meeting people every day and watching how they behave, react and interact with those around them is all part of my job. Sometimes things seem so obviously wrong that you just know you need to step in and sort out the mess, or at least ensure the right help is available. But is it as simple as that? The duck and rabbit picture might be fun, but it illustrates the problem nicely. If you weren't looking for both creatures to be there, you would probably only see the one you noticed first. If you saw the duck, you'd never know the rabbit was a part of the story. Have a look at this one. Now that I've warned you that this is an optical illusion, how many planks do you see? The problem for people who like to have everything squared away and in order, nice and tidy with a bow on it, is that there is no right answer. No matter what you see, someone else will see something different. A little while ago, on my way home from work, I met a friend I hadn't seen for a while. As always, being English, we started off talking about the weather. "What a dreary day it is," said my friend. I was about to say something, but he continued, "All cloudy and overcast, gloomy." Now, instead of trying to explain what I knew to be the case, I simply said, I'm sure it'll clear up later. I think it may turn out to be a nice day once it does." My friend's partial picture of the weather being a gloomy Eeyore kind of day was sort of accurate. From the ground, there certainly was a layer of cloud blocking the sunshine from getting to where it needed to be to make this a nice day. Above that layer of cloud was another layer, fluffy white clouds, and above that yet another layer, a layer of wispy, streaky kind of clouds. The wind up there was blowing a hoolie, and I was confident that the cloud was indeed going to get blown away. It was, and by breakfast time, well, at least second breakfast time, a lovely warm day was evident on the ground. So, how did I know? What made me so sure? You see, by the time I met my friend early that morning, I had already been working, flying way above those dreary clouds. What I saw was very different than what he had seen. The fast-moving clouds looked beautiful as the sun woke up and started setting the scene for the day. Do you see how it works? Just because we can only see things from one perspective does not mean what we are seeing is either accurate or nearly as bad as things appear at first sight. I didn't try to take the time to explain to my friend what I knew. What he had already convinced himself of is this was a day that everyone who was an Eeyore was going to enjoy. Paul used a similar example of looking into a foggy mirror and trying to work out what is going on in life. That partial picture, the view from the ground, just doesn't bear much resemblance to the full reality at all. Speaking of our journey through life, Paul says, now our knowledge is partial and incomplete. And of course, when the full story comes out, that partial story will become useless. I'm sure my Eeyore friend didn't talk much about the grey overcast start of the day once he was able to walk in the lovely sunshine later in the day. Now we see things imperfectly, like puzzling reflections in a mirror. But then we'll see everything with perfect clarity. All that I know is partial and incomplete, but then I will know everything completely. Making decisions based on partial information is always difficult. How are things going to turn out? What should I really do today, tomorrow, or for the future even? What do you do? Knowing there's more than one way to look at things is a starting point. But not ever seeming to get enough information to know fully what we need to do is quite another. Paul's illustration doesn't come without a little help to understand it. No matter what you think is going on, no matter how bad things appear to be, three things last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. That may seem to be a strange sentence to plonk on the end of talking about not seeing the whole picture, but there it is. The greatest of these is love. I wonder why Paul did that. Here's a suggestion. Even when things look really bleak, when you just don't understand what's going on, you can still maintain your faith in God. You can still have hope, and you can still love. Choosing to think the best, taking time to pray for people, to give them a word of encouragement, and even a hug from time to time, helps us get through those dark, gloomy, grey, overcast Eeyore kind of days. Far from being an Eeyore kind of day, some dark days turn out to be the start of something beautiful. Until next time, goodbye.